Hello, everyone. This is Warhawk Beyond 2040, bringing to you another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. And the big bombshell that was dropped on the November 20th, 2023 edition of Raw is Randy Orton will be making his long awaited and highly anticipated return at Survivor Series 2023, where he has been announced as the fifth member and will be joining the team of Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Seth Rollins. And they will be taking on Judgment Day members Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough, and a newly turned heel Drew McIntyre, who has been also confirmed as the fifth member for Team Judgment Day. Now, this is something I thought we would never ever get to see because, for those of you who know already, Randy Orton hasn't been seen on WWE TV in 18 months, which is a really long time. And the last time that we saw Randy Orton was on the May 20th, 2022 edition of SmackDown, where he and Matt Riddle as RK Bro lost the tag team titles to the Usos, and Randy Orton was taken out by the Bloodline. Now, this was in fact a way to write Randy Orton off TV as he suffered a severe back injury, and it looked like we weren't ever going to see Randy Orton again. I had been hearing stories that he had back surgery, he was fine, but he was ordered not to return to the ring after many years of RKOs. And of course, anyone who knows that the RKO finisher, when you deliver it, you are, of course, going to land on your back. So 20 plus years of delivering RKOs will do that to you. And it looked like Randy Orton's career, for all intents and purposes, was pretty much done because he's been in WWE since 2002. He's been in the company for over 21 years now, which is a really long time. And he's hardly had any time off. I mean, the times that I can remember that he had off was from September 2002 to January 2003. And then he was gone after that from February 2003 to May 2003, and then he was off again from April 2005 to June 2005. Then he was gone again, and then he came back in August 2005, and then after WrestleMania 22, he was gone from April 2006 to June 2006. So he's been gone on and off for periods of his career, but I don't ever remember him being away this long. So there are lots of questions going into Survivor Series 2023, more specifically, War Games. What role will Randy Orton play in War Games? Now, obviously, he's got history with a few members of the team. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, of course, are members of Legacy. They were together from 2008 to 2010, and obviously they had a little feud as well, on and off. So there's history there. Randy Orton, of course, has history with Jey Uso because the Bloodline took him out. And we obviously know that Randy Orton has history with Seth Rollins, going all the way back to when Evolution and The Shield were feuding with each other, and they were part of the Authority, and then they were also butting heads while still part of the Authority, and then clashed after Randy Orton left the Authority. So Randy Orton has a lot of history with three of the five members of his team. He doesn't really have a lot of history with Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn should count himself as the lucky one. Now, could Randy Orton turn on his teammates? It's a possibility. I have always said for many years Randy Orton works better as a heel, but you know, it's very hard to say when you have someone like Randy Orton because he's pretty much the wild card in this entire match. I think what could probably happen is I think Randy Orton is just going to end up RKOing everybody. Yes, including Rhea Ripley. That is a strong possibility. But I think what will probably happen is I can probably see Orton's team picking up the win, and he's just going to go on a rampage, RKO everybody, and just leave because he's a Viper. He's the apex predator. He's the legend killer. It's what he does. But aside from that, what kind of shape is Randy Orton going to be in? Because he hasn't competed in a match in 18 months. And the last time he competed in a match was on the May 20th, 2022 edition of SmackDown. So that's a long time to go without competing in a match. Now, obviously, I've seen some recent pictures of Randy Orton. He looks to be in amazing shape. Wouldn't have it any other way with someone like Orton. But in terms of ring rust, can he still go? Orton is in his early 40s. Not old. He's always been very careful about everything he does in the ring. Very smooth. Very rarely ever makes a mistake. He's a ring general. You know, Orton is a veteran. He knows what he's doing in the ring. So he's obviously going to play it very safe because, you know, he is just coming off back surgery, as I mentioned earlier. So it is going to be very interesting what kind of Randy Orton we are going to see at Survivor Series 2023. Now, another thing to take into consideration also is Randy Orton has a good long history with the Survivor Series pay per view. From 2003, 4, 5, Orton was the sole survivor for the Survivor Series elimination matches. That streak sadly came to an end in 2006, but Orton's had quite a good run at the pay per view, whether it's in traditional elimination matches or in championship matches. Orton's pretty much always come out on top most of the time. He's got a very good record there. He's lost a few matches here and there, but by and large, he's relatively quite clean at Survivor Series. He's had a very good record. If Shawn Michaels is Mr. WrestleMania, then I would probably say Randy Orton is Mr. Survivor Series. He's got a very good track record at the pay per view, and I think that gives his team a good advantage over the Judgment Day team. That could definitely go in their favour. I can definitely see Orton playing a big part in the outcome of this match, whether either side wins or loses. Orton's going to play very heavily in the outcome of this match. So we'll just have to wait and see, really. But I'm really, really excited to see Randy Orton is finally coming back. And I'm just going to go out and say it. For me, this is a much bigger deal than the Crybaby, sorry, CM Punk coming back. Now, I mentioned before, people are saying that Survivor Series is in Chicago. Could CM Punk make an appearance? I said no. For me, Randy Orton coming back is a far more bigger deal than CM Punk returning because we haven't seen Orton for so long. People miss him. I'm one of them. I have missed Orton so much. It just feels strange not having him on TV. Even when Orton was injured, he still made little appearances here and there, whether it was Raw or SmackDown, but he hasn't been on TV at all. CM Punk, you know, the image of his stunts he pulled in AEW is still fresh in the carpet. I'm not really too bothered. For me, this is a much bigger moment. The pop when Cody Rhodes announced that Randy Orton was going to be joining his team, that was near to Stone Cold level. Remember that time when Linda McMahon announced that Stone Cold was going to be in the corner of The Rock for Backlash 2000, the place went absolutely nuts. I kind of compared it to that. Not saying that Randy Orton is Stone Cold, he's not, but I would say he's kind of that sort of character, a badass, an anti character, someone who doesn't play by the rules, someone who just does what he wants when he wants. I put Orton in that category. He's kind of on that same level as Stone Cold. A real tough guy, someone you don't want to mess with, and someone who the fans really want to see. And Orton is definitely that guy at this moment. That's kind of how that moment felt when Cody Rhodes announced that Orton was coming back. The place went absolutely nuts. Definitely brought back some memories from 2000 with Stone Cold for sure. But like I said, Orton coming back, a much more bigger deal than CM Punk because I'm not doubting that people want to see CM Punk return to WWE. I'm not doubting that for a second. But I think if you look closely and when it comes down to it, people want to see Orton back much, much more. That's just my honest opinion. Probably some people out there might disagree. Fair enough. But for me, Orton returning, far more bigger deal. And this has definitely made Survivor Series 2023 a bit more exciting and definitely making it more watchable because I have kind of gone off the boil with Survivor Series in recent years. Survivor Series was always a pay per view that I enjoyed mainly because you used to get teams of guys who probably never worked together before or guys who didn't like each other but were thrown together to basically survive. Or there was, you know, a career on the line or a company on the line or something like that. That's what I always liked about Survivor Series. And then after that, they started doing the whole Raw versus SmackDown thing. And yeah, I just kind of went off it a bit. And now they've added War Games to the mix. I personally think War Games should be its own pay per view, not thrown in with Survivor Series, but it is what it is. But this has definitely made Survivor Series a bit more special because we're getting to see the return of someone we haven't seen for a long time. So I am definitely going to be watching this pay per view mainly for Orton's return because I've missed him. He's one of the best, probably the best modern heel we've had in years. Certainly up there with the Triple H's and the Edges of the world in terms of being one of the ultimate heels in wrestling. So Randy Orton, we can't wait to see you, and we've missed you so much. Welcome home, my friend. Can't wait. Let's go. So that's going to be it from me. I am going to wrap this up now. What's your thoughts on Randy Orton returning? Are you excited? What kind of role do you think he's going to play in War Games? Do you think he's going to turn on his team? Or do you see him helping his team and then delivering RKOs to everybody after the match? Do you think Randy Orton is the wild card in War Games? What kind of shape do you think he's going to be in? Do you think we'll see the same Randy Orton that we saw 18 months earlier? Or do you think we're going to see a completely different person in the ring? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. So until then, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.